Hey everybody, this is Strange Society, and welcome back to Let's Play Okami. Alright, so now that we cleared out this path, this guy is able to set up, and we actually have a store. And at this store, you can buy various things. Not a whole lot right now, obviously, it's the beginning of the game. But, so anyway, we're going to do some shopping real quick. I wanted to go ahead and show you what he has, and I'm actually going to buy a couple things. He has feed bags, different kinds of food that you can give to the nice little woodland creatures and all these animals. You can see the Steel Fist Sake, the Steel Soul Sake, which help boost your stats, the Holy Bone, which helps heal you and all that stuff. I'm going to get a Holy Bone, just so I have a little bit of insurance. And then, what I always do is keep some feed bags. Very good tip. Now, I'm not leaving the village just yet, so I just need some seeds and some herbs, plus I don't have a whole lot of money right now anyway. So just gonna grab some seeds and herbs. I try to keep like 3 to 5 of each different kind. But once again, I can't afford that right now, but all I need at the moment is seeds and herbs. And some more animals you can find are some rabbits right here close to the entrance. And they, as you can imagine, take herbs. So if you feed them some herbs, they're all happy and they give you praise. And something else about these animals, these different kinds, you're going to see that different size of animals give you different amounts of praise. So far you've seen me feed birds. Each bird that you feed gives me 1 praise. Rabbits will give me 2 praise per rabbit. So as you can see, I fed 3 rabbits, but I get 6 praise. So that's how that works. There's going to be some bigger animals, and you're going to get more praise from them each. Anyway, so at this point I'm just kind of looking around, getting used to the controls again and that camera. And what we're going to do this video is actually do some exploring around the village and take care of a few things, show off some collectibles, feed some animals, all that fun stuff. So anyway, because we're at this point where I just want to show off what you can get. There's some birds over here behind Susano's house. If you run up to them, of course they'll fly away, but wait for them to come back down and you can feed them some seeds. Ah, yes, nice, calm, peaceful. Okay, enough of that. So, anyway, yep, and then there's 3, 1 per bird. I'm going to, and then right there, you can see there's actually a night and day system, and there'll be like twilight, dawn, all that stuff. You'll get cues for like when it switches to dawn and stuff, but you'll always get a little cutscene when it switches from day to night and night to day. Just like that. When it is night, things change. Of course, people go back into their houses, animals might be sleeping, and as you can see right there, I passed by in the field, there's a glowing spot. Now, I forget, apparently when I was playing this, I wasn't paying that close of attention, and I missed it, but, oh, and by the way, there's some sleeping chickens. Chickens, of course, give them seeds. Anyway, so even domesticated animals, not just woodland animals. So yeah, so there's, at night you will see spots on the ground that glow, and if you go find those and dig up that spot, you'll get a special little secret. It might be a piece of food, it might be a treasure chest, it might be all different kinds of things. Once again, I forget to go that one. I will go back to that one later when I come back to the village after I do a few things. But as of right now, I let that one be, but we'll come back to it. And, of course, you saw me get that radish or whatever it was. You can dig stuff out of the ground, fill your astral pouch. You definitely want to do that. I just kind of ran around the back there to check to see if there was anything there. If you're wondering about those dilapidated trees, we'll get to that later. And, oh, hey, there's another glowy spot. So this one I show off. And as you can see, there was actually a little ring. It's the little handle on top of the box that sticks out. So during the day, you can spot those dig spots a lot of the times too. It's just that you have to look really close. But in here, you don't have a whole lot of clues, but out in the fields and stuff, sometimes there'll be clues like 3 bushes surrounding them, and you'll see me get some of those later during the day. So if you look good enough, you can actually spot those during the day as well. I just did a Traveler's Charm, which increased my godhood level by 1, which actually didn't do me a whole lot of good. Oh, and I'm sorry, right now I'm actually showing off the menu. So you saw the stats, you saw the different moves, and then you see different scrolls. And in this scroll, I have the journal, and this lets me know reminds me what I need to do in the story. So it's the last conversation I had that gives me a clue on what to do next. And then there's the travel guide. The travel guide gives you tips. Excuse me, I am going very fast at this, but there's a lot to cover, and I wanted to get this out of the way. But anyway, travel tips. Stuff you're going to collect along the way, different scrolls you'll find will basically help tell you how to play the game, so that if you forget or if you don't play the game after a year, you know, like some people do sometimes, you can go back and relearn different tips and tricks that you learned while going through. So that one was pretty basic. You have a bestiary, which shows all the enemies you've come across. So far, I've had the green imps. Those are your basic enemies that I fought. Pretty simple, pretty easy. You get a little bit of a story with them, kind of gives you a background, and I don't know if that fits with actual Japanese lore or if that's something they made up. I would imagine it probably has a little bit of Japanese lore attached to it, and this is our new enemy, the red imp, the one with the loot. And with certain enemies, it will give you a clue on how to beat them. How to beat them easier. As you'll see on the 6th slide there, it is advisable to cut the strings with the brush. So if you beat him somehow without actually cutting him, and you're like, oh my gosh, that was such a pain, you can read that and have a clue on how to beat him a lot easier. This is our animal count. So this tracks all the animals that we feed. As you can see, I have 14% of the birds in the game. I have 4% of the hares or rabbits, and I have 28% of the chickens. So as you go along, it's that way you can know if you're done, if there's any more to look for, and it is throughout the whole game. So that's very nice as well. And the last thing that's available at the moment is the stray bead count. I got 1 stray bead, and it tells me where I found it. You can see, this will help you search for these beads as well, because it'll tell you how many are in each area, so you'll know if you've collected all of the ones in that area or not. Of course, it doesn't want to spoil anything, so there's question marks all over the place telling you... basically, you haven't visited that place yet, so you don't know the name of it. But so that's very, very helpful. You can see the map. As you can see, we're in Kamiki Village. That's zoomed in. You zoom out, you can see a little bit bigger area, and then the entire world that you're going to traverse across. And of course, those red circles, as we found out earlier, are the great saplings left by... the peach tree goddess person thing. Anyway, I forget her name at the moment. We talked to Kumosu. He talks about the spirits. And we just went from night back to day. Nights don't last very long because you do have like dawn and twilight and all that. So you'll see more often stuff going on during the day. Something I wanted to show off. If you go back up here to the... shrine, if you pass through the arch, you can actually go back to where we went before, where we saw the river and all that. But if you actually go around the arch, you stay in the normal realm and not the spirit realm. And as you can see, there's actually a couple people over there. So let's go talk to them real quick. Excuse me. Trying to get a lot of information out, and my voice is not enjoying this. But anyway, so you talk to them, and this goes back to the fact that kids are a little more in tune to believe in the gods, and so the little sister can see Okami's kind of true form, whereas the older sister, I believe they're sisters, sees Amaterasu as a regular wolf. But anyway, so that was just kind of a neat thing to show off, and a couple more characters, and we will run into them again later, so I wanted to make sure we got them in there. There's some more birds right here that you can feed. I actually went up on the path where we first met Mr. Orange, and to look for more animals. There weren't any up there that I found, so I just cut that out. Once again, since I'm doing post-commentary, I will be cutting out various things just to get this to speed along. I don't want to see you guys, or I don't want you guys to see me flailing around and doing all kinds of stuff. And just taking forever on this, because this game, if you try to go after everything, will take quite a while. Okay, so that's kind of it for Kamiki Village. I'm going to make my way out of here now. There's not a whole lot else to do yet. There are a few more things to do. Of course, I'm going to come back and dig up that one glowy spot and see what was in there. But as of right now, there's not a whole lot else to do, so we might as well get moving. We got some experience from the animals. I'm going to restock on some seeds here, just to make sure I have some as I come across more animals. And of course, you can also sell things. You're actually going to get treasures in the game, and I'll talk about that more later, that you can sell, or if you just get a whole bunch of stuff that you don't use. Like, to be honest, I don't use a whole lot of items. I mostly just buy the bones to help recover my health, which I rarely use, and then also the seeds to make sure I get the experience. But anyway, we leave the village and we enter Shinshu Field, and it does not look very good. Isun right now is going to talk and tell us that there's a lot of corrupted area, which means we can't do a whole lot out here as of yet. We kind of need to clear that out. So as we move along, we're going to see cursed areas. If you go in there, you're not going to last very long. I believe you can walk in and it'll damage you as you wander around in there, and probably very quickly as well, if it doesn't outright kill you. But I'm pretty sure it just damages you, gives you a chance to come back out. So once again, there's not a whole lot we can do right here. Of course, if you see pots, if you see things you can break, good thing is to break them, because you can not only get money, you can get items. We'll actually see later. I'm going to break open some stuff and we'll get feed bags. Isun points out, and it's kind of hard to see at that angle, but there is one of the guardian saplings right there, one of the ones we have to revive in order to restore health and balance and nature and all that fun stuff. Once again, Isun, he talks a little too much for my taste. He does, this game has a little bit bad habit of holding your hand for a lot of stuff, but this does happen just only for these first couple hours in the game, and then he calms down a little bit, I think, but I think they could have toned down some of this a little bit. Just my personal opinion, I don't know. He does have some funny things to say in that, but there is a lot of hand-holding, especially in the beginning of this game, that I think is a little unnecessary. So, unless this is like your first game ever, then it might be helpful or whatnot. But anyway, you can see those scrolls that are wandering around. Those are your enemy encounters. If you run into a scroll, you will enter a fight. During the day, they just kind of wander aimlessly, but at night, if you walk by a scroll and it faces you, it will actually chase you down, so be aware of that. Once again, you want to try and collect demon fangs, and you'll see why later, but you get them, they kind of do their little falling action there, and if you slice them, you get a demon fang, so I will be doing a few fights and cutting them out, just because I want to grind for demon fangs and also get some money, some yen, and experience and all that. Actually, you don't get a whole lot of experience you don't get any experience for doing fights. It's mostly just yen and collecting demon fangs and stuff like that. So we run up here. Of course, don't touch the black area. And as you can see, most of this area is kind of blocked off by that. But if we walk up here, I'm going to enter another fight, and boom, cut it out. So we're just going to skip that for now unless we meet a new enemy or something important happens. As you'll see later, there are certain fights you want to find. But we go up to the Guardian Sapling, and Isun says, yeah, it's not looking so good. No wonder why Sakuya, which is the peach goddess lady's name, is obviously not doing too well, and this is why. So he's like, huh, that must be something pretty powerful to be able to pull off something like this, huh? I wonder what's going on. Of course we know, because we saw the cutscene. Oh, anyway, there was a guy in a statue over there because he's in the cursed zone. I'm going to fight a couple more fights, cut them out. Just get these out of the way. So there's another fight over here. And get that out, and you can actually get some decent yen from these fights depending on who you face. But let's go over here and see this little shack. I'm going to break some pots, and as you can see, there's some feed bags, or also food in there. Feed bags, of course, that's nice to get free. That's 500 yen saved right there. But you definitely want to have some to be able to use. So I believe those were some seeds, so we have more seeds now. I tried to hit the haystack thing right there, but I failed. So this is the Nameless man's house. Isun says this is a guy who looks after Hama Valley and nature and all that. He's kind of an outdoorsy kind of guy, but anyway, he's gonna say that all of this stuff happened. There was loud rumbling and an earthquake from the lake, which is on the other side of this field we can't get to right now. And he got knocked out, and when he came to, everything was like this. He had a art workshop just across the stream there. And that has all of a sudden disappeared. And so we're going to have to help him recover that. But anyway, so you're going to meet all different kinds of characters. And one thing about this, and I'm going to have to ask you guys to look up a lot of these characters, but almost everybody in this game that you come across, there is a little bit of backstory in this, in Japanese history, mythology, different stories. And I'm sure this guy has his own story as well that you could probably look up, that I honestly didn't take the time to research it. I'm sorry, guys, but I definitely encourage you guys, if you're interested, check it out, because there's all kinds of stories with these different characters that you're going to run across. So, anyway, he says he saw Susano go into the cave. Of course, he ran out of the town and he went into the cave. There's a bunch of monsters in there, and Susano, as he notes, normally runs away from the monsters. So this is kind of odd. But, so anyway, if you haven't guessed, we're going into the cave. There's another guardian sapling in there. But just real quick, I actually take a look around. Of course, the river right there is not looking that great now, is it? And there's another fight across the river. I'm going to go do that real quick. And actually, before we go into the cave, that is it for this video. Sorry for the word vomit and just spewing information left and right, but there is so much to get out right now. We're still in the beginning, and there's so much to explain. But anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this and looking forward to the rest of this game. This has been Strange to Society. Take care.